Like in many disciplines in life, it pays to have a bit of humility when it comes to doing push ups, specifically because everybody and their mom can start doing them, but there's always more to learn about them. I started practicing push ups as one of my main push chain exercises over 12 years ago, and I figured, in a few months I'll have these things mastered, but now, of course, a lot older, little wiser, realizing that mastery is an illusion of an ignorant fool. One of the biggest mistakes that I used to make, and I still see people making lots and lots of times, in fact, almost everybody I see does this to at least some degree, is the dreaded push up hunch. This hunch really compromises your ability to get what you want out of your push ups while putting your joints at risk because you have elevation, protraction, and even, it's kind of hard to show here, but you have some rotation going on up and outwards. And this hunch is very problematic. It's what I like to call the off position because it basically takes a lot of your major muscles in your torso and essentially turns them off. So if I'm like this, my chest is like nothing right there, but it's not even your pectorals. It's also your lats, your muscles in your upper back that you need for support. And it's just this domino effect of not getting what you want out of the exercise. But not only does this hunch severely compromise the effectiveness of your push-ups, it also puts a lot more stress and strain on all of your joints. So you can kind of see my wrist. I'm pushing my wrist as hard as I can. I'm wrenching it against the floor. I'm also having my elbows flare out a little bit. I mean, just doing this, I don't even have any weight on it. And it's like, this is not feeling good on my wrists at all. There's a lot of stress going on in the shoulder. Sometimes it's also in the elbow. Injuries to the elbow are not too common with push-ups, but that's usually what's going on because we're essentially just wrenching the hell out of our joints because our muscles aren't working very well. But when we reduce that hunch, we essentially align all of our joints to be, well, in a much better alignment. So my wrist likes to bend this way, so now it will. The elbow is down and back, so I don't have that very sharp, acute bend necessary in my wrist. I'm working in a much more gentle and joint-friendly range of motion. Plus, all of the force is going directly into my chest and my triceps when I do this. So we've essentially taken the stress out of our joints and put it right into our muscles where we want it. Of course, there are many different ways you can work on this and improve your proficiency, but I found that I made most of my fastest progress when I started using overcoming isometrics, like with my iso loop here, because the second you put force with a misaligned shoulder, it feels really weird and awkward. So you can really practice getting everything set, and that allows you to not only push a lot harder, but really dial in your technique and position to get it working right into the muscles and relieve stress in the joints. And lastly, really kind of exaggerate this thing as much as possible. I'm doing this as a way to show it off, but the difference between getting the push-up dialed in and feeling great could literally be the difference between this and this. Very, very subtle difference. In fact, one of my other most popular push-up videos about pain relief, it's up there. It's about a tension in the back of the shoulder, and it looks like that. That's all there is. And a lot of people, they'll comment on it and say, like, you didn't show us how to do it. I'm like, there's nothing really to see. That's because a lot of the stuff that makes a technique good isn't going to make it look any different, or at least to any great degree, but it sure as hell will feel different. The push-up really is truly one of the best exercises for building up the upper body, provided everything gets dialed in, like with this tip. And if you want to learn more, check out these videos here, as well as my 60-second push-up challenge, which will just smoke the hell out of all of those pushing muscles. And as always, thoughts, comments, and questions are welcome in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.